Hey everyone, I'm Matt, aka the UKAstroNut, and I'm going to start a brand new series today, which is all going to be about the European Space Agency's mission Rosetta. So, if you don't know what the European Space Agency is, it's basically like NASA, but for European countries. So, NASA is basically for North America, so it's mainly for the USA, whereas the European Space Agency is mainly for European countries. So the collaborators, all these countries in Europe, well, a lot of the countries in Europe, they put money together and they do lots of space missions. But they also collaborate with organisations such as NASA. So what is Rosetta? So Rosetta is one of their missions now that's coming up and going to do something very interesting soon, but actually it was launched 10 years ago. So for the last 10 years it's just been going through space and trying to get to where it's going, which is actually going to be a comet. So the point of Rosetta is it's going to go to a comet in our solar system, and it's going to go around it and it's going to study the comet. And what's even more interesting possibly is it's going to land something on the comet, and this little lander is going to drill into the comet and it's going to try and see what the comet's made of. It's going to try and learn more about it. This is really, really interesting because this hasn't happened before, and this is a brand new thing to be able to land something on the comet, to study it, see what it's made of, see what the centre is like, but also to be able to study the outside of the comet, see what it's made of. So, as I said, it's been going for about 10 years so far, and I've just got a quick timeline I can show you. So Rosetta was actually launched in 2004 from Earth, and it had to be launched so early because the comet that it's going to is really, really far out in our solar system. And to get there, Rosetta needs a lot of speed to get there because it's so far out. It would take too long when it can't have enough fuel to get there on its own. So what it does something called a gravitational slingshot around some of the planets. So it goes really close to a few planets and steals some of the energy from that planet, and in turn it converts that energy into speed, and that makes it go faster and go further and further out, so it actually gets to the comet much quicker and not using much fuel. I'm going to do a video, in the next video I'm going to explain what slingshots are, and I'm going to show the real path of Rosetta. So watch that. If you're a bit confused in what gravitational slingshot is, check out the next video. But on the way, so I told you it's going to go to a planet, to a comet, and the comet's actually called 67P-CG. I've got this written down because it's a bit hard to pronounce. So the CG actually stands for Churyumov-Gerasimenko. So we actually just call it CG because that's much easier to pronounce. But on the way, it actually flew past two other asteroids as well, which were Steins and Rosetta. Now, it didn't do anything here other than just look at the asteroids and just see what they were like and observe them a little bit, because its main aim is to get to this other comet, 67P-CG. That's the name of the comet. On the way, it didn't have a lot of power, so they had to hibernate it. So basically, they turned off most of the electronics in the system. For 31 months, almost 3 years, they turned off all the electronics. They just let it rest, and it's just trying to collect a little bit of power because it's so far away from the sun. The solar panels, which is where it gets most of the energy from, weren't working that well because it was so far away from the sun. There wasn't enough sunlight, so they had to basically shut down most of the systems and put it in a hibernation mode. It will reach the comet in August 2014, so that's actually a month away from when I'm going to post this video, so only a month away. But I said it's been going for 10 years, so this is really now the exciting point. And the lander will hopefully land on the actual comet in 2014 in November. So that's kind of the brief timeline. Oh, actually, so this is what Rosetta kind of looks like. You have the central payloads, this is where all the instruments and stuff are in the middle, and these two things on either side are actually the solar rays. So this is what's trying to give Rosetta all its energy. This is the comet here. I've just drawn sort of a coma and a tail on it. Coma and a tail are when radiation from the sun and solar winds blows out all the remnants of the comet after it's been melted, and these are pieces of rock and ice, and it creates this sort of mist, this sort of haze and atmosphere around the comet. And then down here I drew the little lander on it. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. So as I said, it launched in 2004, so it's going for 10 years, and on the way it's checked out a couple of asteroids as well, and it's been going so long, as I said, because it just needs to gain a bit of speed and it needs to get here, and it just takes a lot of energy to get there, and it doesn't have enough fuel. The lander itself will actually land onto the comet, and it uses like a few harpoons and attach itself onto the comet, at which point it's going to start drilling in. It's going to try and find, it's trying to work out what the centre of the comet is made of, and possibly what the sort of the outer stuff is made of. We think they're probably made of rock and ice and stuff, but we're not really sure. Rosetta now is very, very close, and it can actually see the comet, and there's some really, really fascinating pictures that Rosetta has taken of the comet itself, and they didn't really know what shape it was, but actually it turns out the shape of the comet is very interesting, something that we really didn't expect. But I'm going to do a video in a couple of videos time, and I'm going to be announcing what that news was, because it was only announced a couple of days ago, so I'm going to tell you what all that was and what the shape was. It's really, really interesting, so it's definitely worth a watch. Finally, one really interesting thing that I found out is that when Rosetta was actually going near the Earth, someone actually found it with their telescope, and it was actually bright because it was reflecting the sunlight, so it appeared quite bright in the sky, and someone found it with a telescope, and they actually misrecognized it as being an asteroid around the Earth, something called a near-Earth object, which are these pieces of rock and debris that are going around the Earth, or they at least go towards the orbit of Earth, and it means that potentially these could collide with the Earth. But someone accidentally recognised Rosetta as one of these things and said, "Oh God, no! There's some asteroid that could hit us." And someone actually pointed out that after a bit of research, they worked out that, oh, hang on, no, that's where Rosetta is. You've actually just discovered Rosetta again, which I thought was very interesting. So, in conclusion, Rosetta is a space mission by the European Space Agency, and it's going to observe and land on a comet which is in our solar system in only a month's time. It's taken 10 years to get there. There's been a lot of build-up so far. This is really, really exciting. We get to find out what comets are actually made of. So, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to do lots more videos. I said, next video I'm going to show you the journey of Rosetta so far. I'm going to show you where it's been, what it's done so far. Then I'm going to show you some of the first pictures we've seen of Rosetta and tell you the really interesting thing that we found out about the shape of the comet itself. And then I'm going to keep doing videos whenever new news is announced about the Rosetta mission. And yeah, I'm going to keep you up to date, and because this is really interesting, so definitely keep an eye out for the videos and also news. I'm going to put some links and stuff in the description so you can find out more. Thank you very much for watching this time. Don't forget to check out the rest of the videos. Like, subscribe, tell all your friends, leave comments. I really appreciate it. The more people I get to watch, the better it is, and the more I can keep going and making good videos, hopefully. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.